how to double your profit this year, or if you're an accountant, how to double your client's profit, and have some very grateful clients. First thing is, gross profit is determined by our sales amount times our gross margin. And our gross margin is the difference between the price we sell things for or services for and the cost of sales, whatever it costs us to produce those things. And if you divide that amount by the sales figure, you get your gross margin. Now, if you can make your gross margin bigger, that will therefore increase your profit. And similarly, your sales amount is made up of how many customers or clients you've got, how often they buy from you, and how much they pay. So again, if you can work on those key numbers, that can make a huge difference. And that's great. And you think, well, okay, I understand that. So now what do I do? Well, what you could do is implement a couple of key simple concepts. First one to understand is that your gross margin, which is influenced by your price, because I don't think we can look at costs, well, certainly not in the short term. So just looking at price, our gross margin, if we could get our average price higher, we would increase our gross margin as well as increasing our sales revenue. So then we need to understand that the actual price that most people seem to charge is what's the going rate, the standard price, what the competitors charge, i.e. the market price. And the market price is determined by market forces, supply and demand. Now, what this demand line shows is that if you reduce your prices, you'll probably be able to sell to a wider range of people, and that's fine. And, you know, if you want to equate how much you sell with how much is being supplied in the market and with the demand, then it's called market prices, and it's where supply and demand meet. But what it ignores is that if you could segment your customers or clients, you could charge higher prices to some of them because they would have been willing to pay higher prices. They didn't have to have the low price to buy off you. It's just that you lowered your price to get more people to buy. So if you could offer some of them what's better value, or, you know, different packages, different product packages, if you like, you could do cross sells, you could do upsells, you could have different value propositions. You know, you could have private memberships. There's all sorts of ways you can do this. The airlines get you to pay more to sit by the aisle rather than in the middle, for example, or to book ahead. If you book ahead, then you get a better deal from them. So all sorts of ways of tailoring what you offer to what your customers and clients want. But the way to do it is to segment them first. You have to sort of divide them into maybe A, B, C, D, and work out what high value proposition you could offer to the A's and maybe slightly less to the B's and slightly less to the C's. And if you follow that strategy, what you'll end up doing is having a higher average price, which means that you'll have more sales revenue and a higher gross margin. So that really works. Now, the other thing that really works is how could you get more customers and clients, and how could you hang on to them for longer, and how could you get them to be willing to buy more often and spend more? And again, it comes from understanding a key concept here, which is called the buyer's journey. And what the buyer's journey basically says is that for every 100 people out there who might be interested in what you are selling, 70% are probably likely to buy off someone sometime in the future. And of them, 3% are now buyers. So if you just focus your efforts on trying to sell to people who are willing to buy now, the now buyers, then you're selling to 3%. But if you can engage with the future buyers along their buyer's journey, you might lose some, 30% generally drop out. But of the 70% that stay the course, when they become now buyers, they're much more likely to buy from you. So you're actually now marketing and selling to 20 times as many people as before. You've got to do it right. So you've got to have systems set up so that it's automated. And you've got to be giving information rather than trying to sell all the time. Because if you try and sell all the time to people who are not now buyers, you just scare them off. It's only when they become now buyers that they're willing to listen to people telling them about, you know, why they should buy from them. And once they become now buyers, if you also had a system in place called a sales funnel, which basically nurtures them through your sales process, you have what are called wow factors. If you nurture them through, again, it's far more likely that of the 3%, more will come your way in the first place and more will come through and stick with you. So understanding how you can segment your customers and clients makes a huge difference to your gross margin and to your average price and sales revenue. And understanding the idea of the buyer's journey and therefore nurturing prospects along the buyer's journey rather than trying to sell to the now buyers, again, makes a huge difference to your sales volume, your number of customers and clients, and therefore your sales revenue. So just some 10% improvements in some of those key areas will literally double your bottom line. If you crunch the numbers, work the numbers out, I can prove it'll double your bottom line profit. If you want some more ideas, go to bernardkeevy.com or comment. And I hope you found that useful and interesting. Thank you very much for watching.